29325 away from Evan James. Hi.
Morning.
How are you?
Oh, amazing, mate. Okay.
Yeah. Friday drinks?
And definitely, probably.
Okay.
No, there's multiple factors going on in New Zealand society while the Friday drinks thing gets changed. And financial stress is definitely one of them.
Sorry, say that again. So what stresses?
Financial stress.
Oh, totally.
And the projected trajectory of the near term.
The projected trajectory.
Yeah, the predicted trajectory of the near term.
Oh, yeah.
And so if it relies on confidence, there's a range of factors where people are unconfident, and it's really not the one to actually blame one thing. Just on me in New Zealand, right, what you've been saying in New Zealand, you guys going after national again like last election?
Sorry, am I going after who?
National.
In what sense?
Because last election, the media spent 18 months hounding and bullying Simon Bridges out of his job, the leader of the National Party.
No, last election was Judith Collins, mate.
Yeah. And in that election debate, she was asked in front of the country, how long do you think it's going to be before you're rolled as the national leader? So I'm asking you straight, are you guys up to the same thing as last year? Last time?
Well, you're asking me to... Well, first of all, you're assuming that's what I did. I didn't.
Because the whole New Zealand
I'm not here to respond for the rest of the New Zealand media. I mean, I can't talk for the rest of them. We're all individuals.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, well, it's like the All Blacks. Like, they lost the game for a year, but they're still the most winningest team in sports history, and they actually effectively can be said, and the coach should have stood up when all that restrictions being torn off them. These guys this team is the best team in the world. And within a game, actually, they rolled Argentina. And the same thing goes for New Zealand.
Yeah, but Argentina wasn't there, mate. Argentina had beaten them on New Zealand soil the week before it was all over.
So he had been the full story, Duncan.
James, the full story, mate.
What story?
The full story is that Argentina beat New Zealand the week before, and they've been on the booze all week. They cooked the goose, mate. Tell the full story.
Yeah, they had 160 kilos of beef for the dinner the night before.
What? Okay, James. I don't know what Chorus is doing to me on these things, but Dave, do I get him? What's happened to the line? I don't know why this happens. James,
what's happened to the line? What's happened to the line, Duncan? What's happened to the line, Duncan? Yeah, well, there you go. Because that actually happened. That happened. I'm going to jazz up whatever I can find about Simon Bridges in the 18 months. And so, around about the 10th month, actually, 11th, yeah, he quit, and Judith Collins took over, and she was thoroughly disrespected by the media as well. These people hard play favourites, man. It's like, and so I said straight to him, "Are you going to do this again?" Because we can't have it, man. We can't have it because, like, you didn't hear. You can look at it's the first hour segment he talked about Air New Zealand, and it's been a top outfit, really, a long time, right? And they do it the Kiwi way, and that's why it's the best, right? And so I can't see that any of his criticisms about Air New Zealand are valid, because we're just doing it as we can, and like the All Blacks, like the Black Ferns, the Air New Zealand's were Kiwis doing it. Top professional, experienced people getting that result. And it's like, because Because on the Aussies thing, I mean, heck, I mean, really, we've got Air New Zealand, okay, the All Blacks, Black Ferns completely smashed Australian girls team. We've got Mr. Van Kiesbergen in the V8 cars. So, like, Australia might be bigger and may have more money, but we kind of are better at stuff than they are. Because all those sports competitions and our political setup, which is actually preceded by the Treaty of Waitangi, that makes our political system better, right? And so, yeah. But think about that. They went after Simon Bridges, National, played favourites, even where Jacinda Ardern is taller than Judith Collins. This is in the debates before the last election. Yeah, Ardern's taller than Collins. So what they did is they put Collins behind Jacinda Ardern from the camera line of sight, right? And it made her look like about 1.5 feet taller. So the media think they're clever clogs, but I'm coming to tell them something that they are going to show them the context has actually changed. And this is a major point I want to make. The paper communication way of thinking, right? We don't use that anymore. And the whole way the legal system is formatted is according to the paper communication thing, right? And I'm saying none of us operate like that anymore. And it's because of the internet, right? You know, it's like I'm a gamer, I play the game, right? And you need to be able to keep up with how fast the brain operates, right? And that's the big litmus right there. How well does it keep up with the thinking of it, right? And so a lot of the social problems we've got are actually the state, the government, don't do anything about these things because how those things are failing, it makes this thing look good. Simple economics, man. And so that's why we've got the social problems. The political establishment need it like that. So the values are in place, that what they have is of value. And it makes the rest of us look stupid. And that's why they changed the rules to make buying a house impossible. Ridiculously impossible. And so really the financial system think that the housing market is their possession because the wishes of the seller doesn't come into it. It's like it's been appropriated. It's actually been appropriated, and so this is why the Teen Party will be buying every residential mortgage in the country, and possibly a lot of commercial stuff. Because we've got to get this logic out of, this has completely stained the fabric of society, right? It has completely stained. You talk about that fabric of society. What colours are going on that fabric? What's the texture of it? And I'm saying that we've been overwritten. Culture has been overwritten by this feature. And I'm saying enough of that, man. Because we have to more closely manage our relationship to the earth, right? Because they're going on about climate change. That's like such a stereotype of a term. There's all sorts of knowledge known about the climate and the earth, right? And we need to just learn to live with it, because what actually is going on with the climate change, actually, it's human things, it's humans doing it. No. The Earth's doing its thing. There's been like 9 ice ages. And I think we just need to learn with what's going on. And that's like the contextual, what's taking contextual precedence over civilization. This idea there has to be control, right? There has to be control, and actually the law's made according to the sensibilities of the community, right? And in light of that, I think it's a legal precedent that because that is thus, the way the political system works is actually obtaining by deception moral license, social license, right? And so, yeah, these are the questions. See, it's rather interesting, right? But I'm pretty sure there's no such thing as the Illuminati, because they would never have wanted us to get wise to them, like how the third party position is undetectable while you're in the circle. You can't see outside the circle, and that's why I call them the third party society. And basically it's a whole group of people that are absolutely stupid, 100% moronic. They've sleepwalked into it like everyone else has sleepwalked into everything else, right? And they need an exit strategy. So I'm not having it that they maintain the standard of lifestyle they are accustomed to by causing the Third World War. And that our media are involved, man. What kind of trade relationship with Europe you're going to have when there is no Europe? No one's able to live there. And seriously, man, if the radiation penetrates the water table and those aquifers, goodbye growing anything in Europe. And people seem to need water, so you won't have any people there either. And that's my little fear of the nuclear thing. And then there's the oceans. So that radiation blowing in the wind across the ocean, do you think some of it might get into the ocean? Maybe, eh? So this could kill all the oceans as well. Of course, the people don't. People are pulling the strings on this. They don't think like that. They don't. They're just like grunting like friggin' cavemen. They've got their big club and they're grunting. Really, eh? Really. You see, none of us normal people feel like that. Okay, no normal person feels like that. And so to represent this what's called the normal community, is the Moral Support Association of Farming International, or the SOAF, and this is going to put the political system and the financial system in these special economic zones, because none of us work with that stuff, man. None of us give a fuck about politics, man. So it can be said to the normal community people, we think politics dictate quality of life. So we're using it to maintain a standard of good vibes, really. And we all get along and we're happy and we can all laugh at the same jokes, right? But politics thinks... Hold on, wait. Yeah, politics thinks, anxiety thinks politics is a sport. Anxiety thinks that politics is a sport. And that's why the political system always uses the normal community as a sport. Like what they've done to housing. They're making all these really significant changes. The roadworks are obvious signs of their attitude towards us. And so, and what their intent is, it's a very blatant kind of a nod to their intent, what they're doing, right? And so I'm standing up. I'm doing something about it. need a means to actually, you call having control over your own destiny and sovereignty and all this kind of thing, respecting the sovereignty of others and whatnot. Well, look at what the government does to people. Okay, look at how you go and look at the east of Syria at the moment, and the US service personnel in the country are in the thousands, and they're basically stealing the oil, basically. Cause a big war for them, put them on the wrong, and then they can just have it. Bloody hell, Avatar had that, didn't they, that movie? Can't wait for part 2 of Avatar. That'd be pretty amazing. Yeah, that's the radio show. And it's a fair fact, man. Are you going to go after National in this next election like the last one? Because that's gangsterism is all hell. Fucking talk about a gang problem and fuck me, it's like they're fully fucking gangstering it out, man. Standing over our politicians. So I'm saying something, and I'm going to be saying some more stuff. And I'm going to wish you a good morning. And you see, I know that there's not been, the content hasn't been frequent, but there's significant things like this phone call. All the intelligence services listening to these shows, man. They want to know the mood of the country. And this Farmgate tax, I actually want to go to their protest, the groundswells protest, because that's the appropriate thing to do. And you know, I thought I'd do in their sneaky ways. What she was going to do is, like, the health, education, services actually in general, and there's traffic works, the road works, right? They've actually blocked off a number of streets leading onto this arterial route, I know, where you could access each direction turning onto this arterial route from the CBD. You now can't, because they've put a concrete bollard there. So that's aggressive as hell, man. You need access to things, right? And that's why the roads are set out like they are, right? And they're blocking those roads off, right? Making it's almost creating a fence. This is to get into the CBD. Okay? It's now, you know, the effectiveness of the roading has been reduced to about 25%. At that purpose, it's a major inconvenience they've created. So I'm very concerned. Anytime you want to think the government's been stupid or incompetent, no, they're doing it on purpose. They're specifically doing it on purpose, right? And so I'll say, what did the media, what were they up to with what's going on, with what Labour's like, with what the lefts were doing and are trying to do still? Why did they shoehorn Labour into power? So, the story's going on right now too. It's right now. Not be looking up Facebook or, you know, perving at your flowers in the nice garden you've spent 5 years lovingly labouring away. I only wish I was doing that. And but yeah, there's a job on something. No. Tino party page. This will be on the Tino. I'm putting this on YouTube too. And when you read into that I'll flatly accuse the media of subverting our political system, totally corrupting the elections, right? I'm serious, man. That question is all the way on up to 10, okay? Because the actual consequences of what they're doing is that they are, they're not interested in how we feel about things, eh? And they've got very much specific aspirations of their own. And so we can't have that. All of our rules are based on stopping that. Okay? So it's kept in good order. So anyway, there is an amnesty. You better check that out, the revelation of the outlaws. It's as much for them as anyone. Okay, that's true. The same for Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine. You know, it's all this business of relying on people not doing anything. Right from America, the American State Department, and right down to this dickhead street hood rat. Fucking, let's say a copy of itself, right? It's all down to, you know, relying on people not doing anything. So I'm doing something. And so I wish you a good morning. And don't be shy, man. Make contact.